Welcome back. We are on chapter 5 of my ebook, Healthy Boundaries. And today we're talking about healthy boundaries in work. If this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos, my name is Christine Austin, and I have been going over the importance of setting boundaries the last few days. Now, I am newly divorced of a 13-year marriage, and I'm finding it very important to find myself after divorce, if you will. And I am sharing this journey with you. So if you find interest in this journey to self-discovery, financial freedom, and what the heck to do now, go ahead, subscribe, follow, and let's go ahead and get into it. Now, again, the last few days, I talked about defining boundaries, how to set boundaries, boundaries in dating and family. And today, I am excited to talk about boundaries and work. Now, the reason that I am excited about this topic is I've been an insurance agent since November 2011. And in 2021, I expanded my business to add on multiple carriers so I can help more clients with a variety of products. Now, I never had any boundaries really set for my business as to why I found myself either following what my upline said or did, or simply moved in a way that seemed right for the time being. As I look back over the last 13 years in business and in my marriage, I can't help but to find several decisions that I made that really didn't align with what I really wanted long term. And this is because I never took the time to sit down and get my boundaries mapped out, right? For what I wanted in my business, my relationship, and life. So let's jump into this chapter and learn why it is important for us to have boundaries regarding work. So your workplace is one of the most important places to set clear and healthy boundaries. According to the United States Department of Labor, the average full-time worker spends about 8.5 hours a day at work, or 44 to 50 hours per week. Now, since the average American works so much, can you see why it's important that we should have some boundaries in the workplace, especially if you want a healthier life? Now, professional boundaries are one of the best ways to ensure that you stay fulfilled at work. And those without good professional boundaries are more likely to experience burnout and feel unfulfilled in their business. This makes me think about how many life insurance agents I've heard over the years say that they just feel burned out, probably because we didn't have our boundaries set for our business. Now, to prevent this from happening, it is important to set professional boundaries. Now, these boundaries in the workplace will prevent you from pushing you physically, emotionally, and mentally. We need to have limits. As a result, it protects you from overcommitting, being manipulated, or behaving unethically in the workplace. This will allow you to preserve your personal energy and be more functional in and out of the workplace. All right? Now, how do we set professional boundaries? To many people, setting professional boundaries is even more difficult than setting boundaries in their personal life. The reason is that people don't want to do anything that would possibly jeopardize their income or their career. Though setting unreasonable or disrespectful boundaries may cost you your career, setting healthy and reasonable boundaries are more likely to help you fulfill your professional goals. So it is important to set boundaries that are conducive to a more productive, healthier, and happier you. It is important to draw the line between a healthy boundary and a controlling boundary. If you set up controlling boundaries that are inflexible and inconsiderate of other people, you are likely to be demoted, fired, or just disliked. And we don't want that either. So, though expressing those boundaries may be awkward at first, most employers and partners will not have an issue respecting your boundary, especially when they can see the benefit for their business as well. To create professional boundaries, reflect on how you feel during the day. There is a section in my ebook in the back. You can find this at the lifenowstore.com under digital products. Are there any people or actions that make you feel extremely anxious, overwhelmed, or upset? If so, you should probably set boundaries relating to those actions and those people. Now, additionally, consider how much work you have committed to currently. Do you feel overwhelmed by the amount of work you have? Do you feel stressed even when you're at home? And if so, you need to set boundaries relating to your job load and work to life ratio. So let's talk about how to express boundaries to your boss and your coworkers. Whenever you come up with a boundary that you think you need, it is important to express the boundaries to your boss and your coworkers. If you do not express your boundaries clearly and professionally, your coworkers and your boss will have no idea that they are even breaking your boundaries. So it is important to communicate clearly. Now, boundaries are not meant to punish, but they are instead meant to make relationships healthier and more productive. For professional boundaries, it is best to approach your boss and coworker as though the conversation was a negotiation. Now, express the problem using assertive language and I statements. Then submit the proposed solution, which in this case is the boundary. Here's an example of an employee setting a professional work boundary effectively. The situation: after hours work request. Alex, a marketing specialist, has been receiving these emails and messages from their manager late at night, often with an explanation of immediate response. This disrupts Alex's personal time and his sleep schedule. Here's the boundary setting. Alex schedules a meeting with their manager to address the situation. During the meeting, Alex communicates respectfully. I want to ensure that I'm giving my best during work hours, but I've noticed that I've been receiving late night emails and messages that seem urgent. To maintain my focus and recharge effectively, I've set a boundary for myself to avoid checking emails or work messages after 6 p.m. unless it's an emergency. If something is truly urgent, feel free to call me directly. Otherwise, I will address the emails first thing in the morning. Here's the outcome. The manager appreciates Alex's clarity and agrees to communicate any after-hours emergencies via a phone call. They also adjust expectations, understanding the importance of work-life balance from team productivity. This approach shows professionalism, clear communication, and a commitment to quality work while preserving personal well-being. Now, what do you do if you experience pushback? In most scenarios, your boss or coworker will be willing to work with your boundaries. The reason for this is that they also are human and understand the pressure of work and life. Unfortunately, there may be instances where your boss or your coworkers may not be willing to hear your boundaries. Here's what you should do if you experience pushback. Reiterate the boundary and why it's set. Begin by reiterating your boundary and explain why you need this. Doing this may clarify misunderstandings about the boundary, which may be the root of the pushback. See if you can come to a compromise. If all misunderstandings are resolved, but you are still experiencing pushback, see if you and the other person can compromise. Boundaries, especially those in a workplace, are about being flexible so that both parties feel respected and heard. Coming up with a compromise may be a great way to respect your needs while respecting the company or your other coworkers' needs as well. But do not budge. If the other person is still resisting to the boundary and is unwilling to compromise, do not budge. You are just as important as the other person in the company. So do not allow another person to bully you out of your boundary. Respectfully but firmly say that you will not change your boundaries unless they are willing to compromise as well. Here is the quote of the day. Your boundaries matter, even when people have a hard time accepting them. Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. Remember, you can get your own copy of my ebook on the lifenowstore.com under the digital products. There's also a workbook included where you can do the work and write everything down so you don't forget. All right. So in the workbook, it includes sections on my values, right? So your values, outer circle, social circle, your inner social circle, boundary exploration sheet, personal boundaries worksheet, my influential worksheets, setting healthy boundaries. And it gives you different questions to help you to, get your juices flowing. Therapy notes. Yes, going to therapy is amazing. Your daily check-in log, your weekly emotion log, self-explanations. So it helps you. Mental health, social health, physical health. Your mood tracker, how you're feeling every day and why. Personal goals, setting healthy boundaries and your relationships, communicating your boundaries, how to communicate that. And yeah, just love a thank you note at the end. So go ahead and get your ebook so you can follow along. You can do the work and you can live a healthier tomorrow with your friends, your family, and your workplace. Next, we'll be discussing boundaries within yourself. And one of the most important relationships you can have is with yourself. So tune in tomorrow for another short video on healthy boundaries and how to say no without feeling guilty. Peace.